G'day everyone, back with some surprise FGO nonsense, where I, I have unleashed the full power of my autism. Well, not full power, but as much as I could in the short time that I had. So I had the really, frankly, stupid idea of, well, hold on, we'll get to that in a moment. So as some background for this, my favourite character in the game is Mordred, followed closely by a sort of a tie for number 2 between Okita and Nobu. But even with 3 accounts, I do not foresee a way for me to roll for any of them, any Nobu or Okita. So I thought, well, I have my main account, and then I have an arts focused alt, and I have a quick focused alt. I think you already know where this is going. How about a Buster one? Which amusingly was what my arts alt was originally supposed to be. But then I thought, oh, that's a bit silly since I'm filling in gaps with Buster units in the first place, but here we are. And the download campaign started, so I thought, well, start day should be going on. It's a good time to start a new account. If you're going to get a free waiver to go with it, start it out nice and proper. And I had the idea, oh, let's get a really good start. Let's make not one alt account, but several. And then I will do our daily logins with all of them. We'll play along through the story until waiver is made permanent, so no shenanigans happen. Oh yes, PSA to keep. So if you use your ticket from this download campaign, there are 2 conditions to be able to actually keep the 7 to get off the ticket. 1, you have to ascend them once, and 2, you have to get them to bond 5. You have to do both of these things. This is very important. If not, in about a month, you haven't done either of them, or you haven't done both of them, you can kiss that 5-star 7 goodbye with all the mats you wasted on them. You have been warned. Now, that only applies to the 5-star ticket from this event, from this download campaign. The permanent 5-star ticket, which will be coming not this coming anniversary, but next year's, that one has no expiration. There's no, or you have to get them to. There's no time limit on it. You just pick the server and boom, it's yours. Okay. Sorry, before I got distracted with the PSA. Yeah, so I thought, I'll roll like 3 or 4 accounts, and then do daily logins with them, play through a little bit, and then we'll roll on either Nobu Mama's radar, or Okiton's radar, and whichever account gets luckiest, if any, will be the one I keep. And I have no idea what I'll do with the others. Give them away, maybe, if anyone was interested. Bloody hell, I don't know. Now, notice I said 3 or 4 accounts. I also said that I got carried away with my autism. Well, I have 6 accounts here to roll with. Also, to make matters even better, so the Stardash campaign has bonus rewards for logging in every day for 14 days. Look at what day we're on. We missed it, but we missed the final reward, which is pretty substantial. It's 50 more Saint Quartz and I think 20 more summon tickets. So we don't have the full rolling power that we could have, because this event, in my defense, I had no way of knowing when this Okita event would start, because of the way they do global schedules in comparison to the JPs. And they're like, oh, surprise, you just started these accounts, but here, this event's starting in 3 days. Good luck getting all 6 accounts to Camelot in time for this. That's another thing, I played through all of them to get them to Camelot, because there's some limited master missions that take place during the event. Now, they last further than the download campaign does, so you don't have to be as stupid about it as I was. But basically there is a really nice command code. Can I look at it from here? No. I'll have to go over here. This little lad right here. You slap that on a Buster card and it juices up the crits by 20%. Pretty nice, especially for a Buster account. So I had to get all 6 of these bloody things. Now, to get that command code, you have to complete 8 of the limited missions. And the only way to do that is to get to the first chapter of Camelot and beat it. So I did. On all 6 of them over like 4 days. If you're wondering, I don't recommend doing such a thing. But enough jibber jabber. Let's get to the rolls, and if none of these accounts have any luck whatsoever, I might actually suffer a mental breakdown. Okay, fingers crossed. This account, funnily enough, just luck sacked a bloody Saber Lily from FP Summon. Or, also, I'll be skipping the summon animations, because if I don't, this stream could be like 7 hours long. And something tells me that you're not that insane with my company. It's good to see you at least. Also, okay, decision between Okita and Nobu Mama. This is basically, I looked at every banner that we know about from here until current day JP that has both of them available, and then what, rate up 4 stars if any are available, craft essences and the like, and determine basically which of the 2 would be better to roll for now and which one it would be better to roll for later. And I determined it's better to go for Okita now, because in the rate up she gets in the future, she doesn't have rate up 4 star with her, while Nobu Mama will have one that is not Summer Nobu. So basically I could theoretically get Summer Nobu here, and then it's Summer Oki, not Okitan, but Summer Oki is the rate up 4 star with Nobu Mama in one of their future rate ups. Next year's Gouda Gouda event. Yeah. So that was my decision process. That, and another thing in Okitan's favour is the buff that she got during this event, because all 3 of them got buffs. these two and Nobumono. But Okitan's buff was actually more substantial than the one that Avenger Nobu got, which is a pretty laughable buff, unfortunately, this go around. The next one's better, but she still could use a bit. But uh, at least they're working on it. Okay, let's get back to this. It's not a rolling station without that one popping out. Serenity. I can go low. Quick hard. I feel like that's weird. That's not as a large enough quick to justify such a demerit, I feel like. Plus it's mixed stats. Lame. What a terrible CE. Mephistopheles. Give us, well, so that's 6 accounts. So I don't know if I'll keep him or not. He is good to raise for very specific. Well, that's a keeper, David. I'm actually surprised I didn't. Or I just didn't. Yeah, obviously I have David because I went through Okeanis, but I just haven't collected him from my box yet. Oopsie daisy. Here, I guess. Brock, because people have taken to calling him in global. Covering fire. It's damage plus. Yeah, I should have waited free. So the next raid up for Okita, she gets one more solo raid up in this event. It's in 3 days, so I would have to definitely not keep Geronimo. Poor lad, he needs all the help. He basically has one skill. Oh, Helena. That's I really like Helena. So that reminds me, with these accounts, I actually managed to restrain myself enough to not re-roll every single one of them until I got some multi-starter summons in the starter roll that I was interested in. I just went with whatever they had. It's a nice CE. That one not so much. So far for tickets. Being about average, I'd say. Grabbing a 4-star at this point. Maybe, well, probably a bit above average actually. Actually, not sure how many we're rolling. Not that many. It's Hector. I could have. Well, I rolled Medusa earlier on another one of these alt accounts through FP summon. That's what I'm remembering now. Oh, and 9. Remember, I feel like I say this every time when I get a particular 3-star server to show up on stream. But it took my main account forever to get Owen on to appear. Oh, this one seems to really like quick. Keeps giving me quick CEs. Right on the day. Lasagna, when you gonna fix her MP? She needs one of those second MP buffs like Vlad comes. It's really lovely art. And we're hoping that it'll be that, of course. Always good to start with nice starting MP craft essence. Full attack as well. Covers Buster and Quick. Riceman. And the lad. I might break down and raise him finally on one of these accounts. Maybe. Of course, I always say that and then I never end up doing it. Well, despite me liking Elena, so far the tickets seem, because to be perfectly honest, any one of these accounts, this isn't a great deal of roles that they have available. So it's unrealistic to expect much, but that's why there's 6 of the bloody things, hoping that one of them just gets just luck sacks, as they call it. Gets some bonkers rolls. We'll see how it works out though. It's a very bright blue. Robin. So to blitz through the accounts, to blitz through the Camelot, I basically speedrun that, speedrun it, sort of, where, oh, it's our friend though. Basically speedrun through. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this for a first time player. I'd recommend actually learning team building and taking your time a little bit. Just enjoying the story, well, enjoying the post Camelot on story. But we keep getting Zelrich, that's all I guess. But for new accounts, oh, that's funny. Last ticket. This institute. Okay, now I have to press less buttons. Click more like. Again, we skip through the rolls. Well, that was unfortunate. Okay, so well, that's MLB'd. Oh, we didn't have it on with us yet. Oh, there's Maury. Necromancy. Asuka. Forever Romada, indeed. Maury's an interesting one. I still not a fan of the fact that they they've started that they've made a couple of limited 3 stars is a bit silly, but he's an interesting one. Certainly not weak. Holy cow! This CE really loves us. There's a second copy of Mori. I'll be frank, I don't particularly care about, but we've lost 2 coin flips on 4 stars. There's Huma. So yeah, reminder, 4-star rate up is 50%. So if a 4-star will drop for you, it'll have a 50% to beat a rate up. Unlike 5-star, where if a 5-star procs for you, it's an 80% to beat a rate up. Now, I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but just as a reminder, those percentages only hold through. Hey, there we go. Now, second one of those. Those values only hold true in solo rate ups. You actually have a much higher chance of getting a rate up 4-star if they're 2 rated up. You just have a lower chance of getting, well, if you only want one of them, you get a lower chance of getting one of them. Though the one you want, yeah, words are hard. One of the worst. I haven't the foggiest what Protestants rate ups are, but they seem to be abysmal. For me at least. I mean, you've witnessed me several times on stream getting 4 out of 5 on the CE, wanting to limit break it. And I'm certainly not alone in that being an occurrence. Oh, I didn't grab Bodiger from the box either. Well, unless Okita starts feeling mighty shit, of course. I mean, okay. Well, I'll be. Of course, Suzuka is going to spook me. Funny thing is, we could have easily had MP5 summon over at this point, but I keep losing coin flips for the 4 stars. But it's not me rolling without Suzuka popping up. I swear, there's that. But I'm most likely going to roll for her on my quick account here in a couple of years. If I'm not dead by then. You never can tell. That's our first coup. How about that? I haven't been keeping track, but we're at least on Origin Roulette. It's pretty good against anti-caster nonsense. Okay. Might have spoken too soon about this account being a dud. Oh, Babbage. Come on, see. Carmella. Limited 0, there's a nice blaster, see, sort of. Well, it's a blaster, see, I mean, sort of nice, it just, All it is bust her up. Oh, I just bit to the daylights out of my tongue. That's fine. MP4, you're joking. Ha! Well, kids, that's what we call luck sucking. Most of those, most of the 4 stars were busted as well. 4 out of the 6 of them. How about that? Well, listen, the other area. We are, aren't you, mate? Alright, that's all the summons I have. Now let's look over the damage because I wasn't. Bloody nervous. Uh, well, I must say it's going to be very difficult for the other accounts to beat that because where are we here? I mean, Helena, I really like Helena. She works. These accounts missed C, so having a nice AoE caster DPS works well. And yes, she is a DPS, not a support like people misattribute her to. Camilla. It'd be too. That's a bit of a downer. We did just get 5 copies of Mori, but I didn't particularly care about this one. Though. What in the world? What in the world? Yeah, so this account's going to be hard to beat. On to the next. On to the next. And of course it closes on me. I do wish they didn't do that. Okay, let's try this again. OP, let's try this again. Maybe. Right. All's not lost on the CE because again we're getting tomorrow's login. I'll be getting a chunk of tickets and Saint Quotes. Well, roughly over 30 rolls. I'll be getting over 30 rolls. So that's enough to maybe luck sack and at least one more copy of Zerka Novu and this, hopefully. Um, but again, let's see how the other accounts treat me. There's something that just sums up my luck that I went through all this effort to make 6 accounts, and then the first one gets bloody MP4. It's like it sums up my luck quite well. I really don't see a way any of the others beat it. If I ended up getting one that was like MP5 Summer Nobu and MP3 Okita, that one would be difficult because there will be more chances at Summer Nobu. So I guess it's not all lost. What's my starter setting on that can actually? Oh, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure Carmilla was my starter servant on that account too. So that's MP2. Oh, there's the first one of those. We got that a lot earlier this time. A lot earlier. Bloody Suzuka as well. I swear. That one's just screaming, "Grail me already, you wanker, what are you doing?" I'm like, well, I already have so many AoE Buster Berserkers. Sabers. AoE Buster Sabers. What happened to Berserker? That's why I got Berserker. There's the first copy of Mori on this account. I think that's about the same. That's about as early as we got the first copy of him on the other one. I don't know why I'm bringing attention to him really, because he's certainly not my priority. I don't particularly care if I get him or not. He's just a bonus. It does though, it will give you a good opportunity of seeing how funky 3-star raid ups are. How much of a lie. We are getting a lot of the 3-star CE. Baldy. Oh, David. And as before, I haven't taken him out of the box, so. Oopsie. Oh, we got a copy of this on the other one too. This one I'm pretty sure has actually been removed at this point in JP. Which is weird because there are plenty other 4-star craft essences that are less than useless that they could have removed. But I really don't know what goes in the decision making of which ones they keep and which ones they chuck away. A first copy of that one. It'd be funny if that one's the one that we end up just never getting any bloody copies of. I must say, while I have mixed feelings of only getting MP2 Summer Nobu when it comes to that other account, having one that got that lucky in the bag ready to go does make the rolls here going forward less stressful. Although there's the annoyance of that being the first account that did that. Meanwhile, 5 more just sitting here waving. Why do I do things? Is that the second copy? No. There's no sense in keeping count. We will very likely get plenty of them. For some reason, 4-star events, these seem to, unlike 4-star servants, actually have a good radar. So yeah, this account is mostly going to be Buster focus by happenstance because most versions of Nobu and Okita are Buster. In fact, Okita, so regular Okita and then Summer Okita and then Summer Okitan are quick, and all of the other variants of Nobu and Oki of Buster. So the Momonobu, or Nobu Benju, Summer Nobu, Welfare Nobu, that since they did the big Halloween rerun, I imagine they're going to do one for Gouda as well, eventually, because that's a really good idea for people to be able to get welfare that are Siegfried. You know, the funny thing is, as much as I've re-rolled counts and such when starting an old, I let me think. Twice. I've gotten Siegfried on one of those re-rolls twice. He avoids me for some reason when starting an account. He didn't avoid my main though when I was rolling for Maryland. Bugger all. Two of them came along. Was those on stream, so pretty sure those on stream. And of course this account will need to roll for Maryland. Because can't rightly call yourself a Buster account if you don't have the Premier Buster support. But luckily he gets a radar in the summer rerun. Well, the tickets, Siegfried's definitely a dud in comparison to getting Helena, personally. So, first account's certainly winning. Well, I think this one's going to win on the 5-star CE. But we can live with that. 50% starting CEs are going to, they're not really rare. Not really rare. See, the thing with Mori is it's sort of a similar thing with Izo, where Mori's fine, but Lubu's already there, and he's not limited, so you don't have to potentially roll on the banner you have no interest in otherwise to get it. And performance-wise, oh, Camlin. Performance-wise, Lubu more than holds his weight as your caster DPS, since Medea doesn't exist. And same thing with Izo, where Izo certainly isn't bad, it's just Asuko is not limited and is better than him anyway. Like he doesn't beat her damage wise because she has an upgraded MP. She loops just as well. Makes crit stars, MP gain. I think they both have a Montana evade, but she has that massive heal. Clowns keep popping up. Well, there's our first summon over. Oh, everyone's favourite spook. The legend herself, Steno. My starter 7 on my arts account. I think it's my arts, yeah, my arts account. No, it was her and Camilla, but she was the one that she was the official starter account on that one, starter 7 on that one. Um, and Camilla was a spook, if you can go with that. You can tell which one was your um, forced 4-star roll on starter rolls because it's the very last summon. GSS. I need to pay. I don't think GSSRs work the same. They might though. They might. What's that one even do? No, that's, yeah, just fire. The okay placeholder on a supporty servant that you kind of want to use their MP like Holmes or something, but you don't have something more substantial like Prisma Cosmos or Billy. I think we got that one on the other one too, didn't we? I find it interesting how my luck, or how my luck with rolling coup, proto coup, much more often than regular coup, holds through no matter which account I'm on. Global or JP as well. I will consistently get proto coup several times over per coup copy. Okay, I'm pretty sure this one has the CE MLB at this point. Pretty sure they have 5 copies at least for now. Okay, B2. Nobu. What about now's the time that the other count started? Ooh, man. I like Beth, and she is good. Um, but in this situation, where we're clearly rolling for Samanova, who's also a Buster Berserker, single target, it's a bit awkward. That being said, she does have some team support. But no, it doesn't. Okay, we've definitely got it MLB now on here. Here we go, I lost multi. I'm going to laugh if we get Necromancy on all 6 accounts. Okay, MP3 Summon over, but not getting a 5-star, not getting Okita at all. Is not worth that trade-off for sure. That's not what I wanted to go to. Okay, I lost 4 rolls here on this account. Both of these would have to be Okita. So that is certainly not a Okita. That is a very, very useless craft essence. Well, so goes account number 2. On with the 3. And I have a great story for. Alright, this is a good opportunity because I got distracted when I was. Okay, I think that's working. So, I was talking about if you started an alt account or a new account or something. Bugger all, what do you think you're doing? Behave, OBS. Be a good lad. How I basically speed ran through, and at least the way I did it was I made sure to get a Zerka Musashi followed that had high MP level, just the higher the better, preferably with a K scope. Surprisingly, it didn't take that. It never took that long to refresh the list until one popped up. It's almost like she's quite popular or something. And basically, for all stages with trash mobs, I'd pop her in, and then between the ticketed waiver, who is at level 60, and whatever starter 7 at level 40, we just face carded down the first waves, and then the final wave she just nuked with her MP. So we did that for trash mob stages every time. And then the second thing to grab is a big old kitted out Heracles, which is rarer than Musashi, unfortunately, but worth it to reroll, and he's your boss killer. Now, the caveat here is to properly solo with him. You want a double taunt setup. Support, that's not what we want. Party setup. Now, this account in particular, if you'll notice, because this is the solo setup, Party 2 here. This one was, okay, Pavati was the star 7 on this one. So Heracles would go here, and then you have a taunt here and a taunt here. Now, you might not be familiar with the Stereos kit, but I assure you, while Fluffy can do a lot of things, taunt is not one of them. This account, out of the 6 accounts, this is the only one that never got a second taunter. Still to this point. And what this means is, so the idea is you want one taunter to die in one turn, and then another taunter to die in the second turn. And now your solo unit, in this case Heracles, can just run roughshod and have full access to his deck every turn. But what this account had to do was taunt, get the Gonga knocked off, and then pray to Iron Jesus that they didn't like the look of Fluffy's nose ring or something. It was like pulling teeth to get them to hit Fluffy, as one might expect. This is the only account that treated me that way, that never gave me a second taunter. So just out of spite, I hope this account has the absolute worst luck because I don't want it. I don't want it. I fully intend to pull 5 tickets here and be 5 Okita or something. Oh, well, there's a star. You bloody account. I swear. Also, I forgot to. Oh, well, I'll go over them all one by one off stream. And double check. No. Body count for each of them. PC wrong. He's the one I keep neglecting. I mostly use him for his third skill. It's sort of a gimmick. Throw a poster girl on him and let him die. Kind of deal. But as an AoE buster, caster DPS, like, he's not spectacular, but he's okay. Not like you have a lot of options, necessarily. Oh, Caesar. Funny. Oh yeah, give me Camlin when I only have one daughter. And obviously Camlin is what you... Camlin or Pieta. But Pieta was an event CE from an event that's long since passed. So MLB Camlin is the best we can hope for. As poor plebs that started a bit later. This being a starting later, best. There's a particular event, I think it's Setsubun. It's a tower event, which I'm really not fond of tower events personally, but this one, the welfare for it was Rider Kentucky, and the event welfare CE was Golden Sumo. Both of which are extremely good. Like Golden Sumo is one of, if not the best CE in the game, and Kentucky is, one could argue, the best welfare in the game as well. That event ended 1 month before I first started playing the game. The rerun of that event ended 1 month before I started playing. And to make matters worse, I could have started playing like 2 months earlier than I did, but well, Matism got the better of me and I spent a couple months researching before starting to play. Which unfortunately ended up at the time confusing me even more than it was to begin with, because of conflicting information, and quite frankly a lot of people talk completely at the rear about this game and about servants, which ones are good, which ones are bad. That's why a YouTube channel I highly recommend you checking out if you want to learn about Fate and such. It's Honoka Green's channel. You learn a lot from him. He also streams the game where he actually speaks. It's crazy, I know. He's got a nice Discord too, you can go and chat with other people that are generally a lot more knowledgeable about the game than other FGO Discords can be. there's a second one of those on this one. So far this account, because the others had already got spooked by a 4-star. It's funny that they both got a spook to start with. So I'm using how those coin flips work. I had to double check there. I kept glancing back and forth because I was like, wait, is that there's Steno? No. Because it's just funny. That time I was talking about, okay, that's the third one. I'll tell you, it's amusing how more with the arts, or the quick seas. Oh yeah, that one. Well, whilst few tech hits you. So far, it looks like this account, the luck that this account contains within is holding true to the way it's been so far. Now, just because, to be quite honest, sorrowing a boss with Heracles between from like Fuyuki on to Camelot is not something that happened that often, really. And frankly, well, there are countless other ways to do it. Other servants you could grab off friends lists that follows it. That's the first memory from this account. That's late. This was just a convenient, consistent one that I was. Oh no, you're stuck on me. Going to restart the app. There you go. Oh, that is the first Alexander any of these accounts have gotten. Well, that we rolled on stream at least. Pretty sure 4, 5, or 6. Wow. There's my first 4-star. Oh, but to continue what I was saying, it's not like the using Heracles happened all that much. Doing that most of the time, it was just slap Zerxashi out there and go to town. But even those, I kept getting situations where all 5, or either all 5 or 4 of her cards kept being in the third hand, so turn 3. it was something, let me tell you. It sure was something. This account was actually like pulling teeth going through Camelot. Huh. If you'll recall, account number 1, the very last ticket, who also pulled Artless Institute. It's kind of funny. Sure enough, Proto-Coup. I'll just get us all here. Story gift servants, why don't you? You got a David too. If only if there was a David here. Hector recently got a buff and an animation update. He's on about 70th level. You need an AoE lancer. So far this again, Scott and one Nobu. And not many event seeds and nothing else. I swear every time I see freeze, I suppose that's something. He makes a cheeky little combo with George, because George can turn an enemy into a dragon, and Siegfried of course gets bonus damage with his MP against dragons. So you can kind of turn him into like Canis, who's effectively single target with splash damage with the AoE MP, but most of the damage coming from crits. But in his case, it's more, uh, it's still the MP. Baldy. Oh, that one. Another Baldy. What's up with that? He's a good example of the misinformation that you find. So many people were acting like he was the greatest unit in the game. Well, that's a slight exaggeration, of course, but of how they were acting, but not by much. Like people were super talking him up from things that I was reading and watching at the time when I was doing research. Okay, there's a second Nobu. There's David. Okay, there's that scene again. That's at least the third copy of it. Kid, yeah. I'm not sure what all like what they could do to fix him. I think it'll take a couple things. I don't know. They did. Oh, oh, that actually hurts me a bit because Enkidu's amazing, but okay. Well, if I had any viewers that wanted an Enkidu account, it looks like that's funny. Enkidu's a really good unit. Basically, another soloing god like who. Honestly, Lancer as a class is just chock-a-block full of amazing units. I really wouldn't mind. Uh, Zerkalon. Zerkalon was basically the first Suzuka for me on my main, where Zerkalon kept spooking me, um, and then Lancelot, regular Saberlot, spooked me twice. So I could theoretically have Saberlot at MP2 and Zerkalot at MP3 on my main, um, but they were rare. They turned into Anniversary Blonde for me, which was very kind of them. Oh, that's a good one. Volume's really handy to get, and then so it's good, and the other one that is the equivalent, but instead of 3 ticks of invuln, it's 3 ticks of evade. Under the what is it? Basking in the sunlight, something like that. I don't know. It's called something like that. Uh, this account wants to be a quick account, apparently. Saber damage. He's single target, quick, not terrible. Or no, different. Don't want to do that. He's he's not bad. It's just I don't particularly care for DMing personally, for similar reasons why I don't particularly care for Lancelot. Uh, and also, when it comes to quick sabers, single target quick sabers, I like all of the other ones better. So, yeah. Alright, this can ended up with one extra roll than the first two did somehow. Well, I know how. It was the way the weekly quest reset worked. So, this account, okay, is definitely not appealing for me. It really does want to be quick, though. I mean, got Caesar ready to go there. Oh yeah, this one had a double 4-star roll in the starter. The starter servant was Pavati, but Mia also, I guess, spooked the roll. And Enkidu, I really like Enkidu, but and it would be good to get him on the bus to account. So yeah, this would be a good account for someone maybe, if I could find somebody that wanted it. But it is not for me. Alright, on to number 4. Okay, halfway done with our rolls. So far, as expected, account number 1 is the reigning king. We'll see if that continues to hold true. And the second account is the only one so far that didn't get a 5-star, which is really unlucky. Well, not really unlucky, but considering the amount of rolls, so yeah, it's not really unlucky, but it's unlucky in comparison to the others, of course. Why are you being stubborn, man? There you go. That's a good lance. Let's make sure. Okay. Here's can number 4. Starting with David. Ooh. He's definitely the single target archer we focus on raising on his account, which is very convenient because you need to raise him in. So correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got necromancy on every single account so far, haven't we? That account that CE can be in your starter roles, and it is by far, not even close, far and away the CE, the gold CE that I've got the most in starter roles. No contest. No real goofy happenings, I'm afraid, for this account that I can tell you. That unlike account 3 had. Standard playthrough. Oh, I kept have to close. Just bloody reflex. Ah, that other cat didn't get much more, he did it. Come to think of it. I'm actually surprised, just so far the way my luck's been on other accounts, my established accounts. Strangely, a lot of my better rolls come from the tickets, whereas on these it's been the multis, which is interesting. Another one on the diatribe, and I forgot to look up that video, bugger all. Alright, that was a long time ago, everyone's probably forgotten. But, which statistically it's better to get to do single rolls or multis. once I did the video, at least concluded that it was like a percentage of 1%. I think it was something extremely small like that. Minute difference. Better for your odds of getting a 5-star to do single rolls. But for a 4-star serving, it's better to do multis. Top dialogue. I believe it's profound. It's only a matter of time before I end up clicking close and having to re-enter this bloody screen. Just want to just bugger all. It's funny that we've gotten him every time as well. They're right there. The getting new servants. I don't freak out there. I just about. Oh, just about. I grazed the close button, but there it is, chinny chin chin. Just go watch out for that. Once we've taken it, that's alright. Well, I can't believe it. I believe we've made it through the tickets without getting a single 4-star. To this point, at least. But what are the odds that they'll pop up right here to save it? Probably not very. Yeah. Well, maybe the third account was like that as well. I just remember getting the goals quite late. Midway through multis. Romulus and his big paintbrush. And he goes a spear. Okay, I think that's our last ticket. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Unfortunately, it's a glance arrow. Okay, I'm gonna give my clicky finger a rest and smartly just let the multi come to us. Ooh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that C was in the game quite a bit before she was added. That one, I had never seen. I don't know if it was just recently added or what, but I've only recently started to ever see it. And no, I had no idea what it actually does. Oh, that's what it does. It's obviously not as good as the Kiara C. Okay, yes. Pretty sure I just had a stroke. It's not as good as Demonic with the Kiara C, because it has starting MP, which obviously helps to get said overcharged MP to use. It's a really good craft essence to put on supports like Tyler mode. ones that have really good MPs. Handy, like getting a skill cooldown effect to proc over and over. That's good, we like those. That's our first copy of 5 stars. So far this account, so there's your general purpose or imaginary element. That one's a good one. It'd be nice if everyone got that in their starter role. It's uber helpful. But yeah, this is a good general DPS craft essence, since humanoid enemies, which are most of them, well, a lot of them, just nice extra damage, extra attack rather. Of course, it gets beaten out by an upcoming CE on this year's summer event, which does massive bonus damage to enemies that are burned. More guns there. It's not that bad. And also has really beautiful art by Yurudai Sensei. You might recognize as the Mono Hololives Tobayami Tora. But it gives a massive, its full attack gives a massive damage bonus. I think it's 35% and then 40% when it's NOV. And if that wasn't enough, it also has permanent pierce involved on it, so they can't even protect themselves. It's a stab one. So yeah, it's a good one to try to get a copy out. You can spare some rolls on one of the Summer 5 banners. I think it's Summer 5. Yeah, because Las Vegas is Summer 4. So this is Summer Cap. That's what this event's going to be. Of course, the best odds for it will be the banner that has Summer Kiara. And who are the 4 stars on Summer Kiara? There's a Summer Brynhilda, who would be my pick, and Summer Ilya. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are the 4 stars that are right up with her. But that's your best odds for getting, I think it's called Honey Lake. That's your best odds for getting that. Right, that fire, that craft essence, because the male banner doesn't have it, and then the other banner, the one that has Saber Tomrue and Murasaki and Summer Abbey, has both sets of Cs, so the male Cs and set that includes Honey Lake. So that's no good, unfortunately. And it's really frustrating because it'd be like, oh well, in the rerun of this event, so next year, they add Fujino to that banner just to make it that much juicier for you to roll on. And I would absolutely love to get Fujino on either my main or his Buster account. But that ban is so bad besides it. Ooh, ooh. What is it with the quick units all of a sudden? So Wu is a very good single targets assassin. She has a lot of team support. She's got an upgraded MP. She's got a skill upgrade on the way, and then a second skill upgrade that just happened in JP. The current event in JP has another buff for her, so she's actually really stout. She has a lot of good effects, like buff removal, buff block, stuff like that. She inflicts on the enemy. Some team support, upgraded MP, so her damage is as good as you can expect out of an assassin. And we're done rolling on this account, which unfortunately is a huge dart. Got 2 copies of Samanobu and Wu. What's Samanobu? There she is. All those Mori though. I didn't even notice. I don't think we even got yeah, 4 copies of. But so far, camp 2 and 4 are obvious passes, meaning okay, I need to go to 5 now. Let's see. So yeah, far and away account 1 is smoking the others. And then second place is the cursed account itself, 3. So 4 and 2 I probably won't bother seeing if anyone wants, and just get rid of them. But 3, I feel like an account that, because you could have ticketed Enkidu because, well, permanent is not a limited servant. Okay. Let's make sure everything's working as intended. This is account number 5. We're getting there, lads and lasses. Oh, but yeah, Enkidu's on the ticket, both this one and permanent one that's 6th anniversary. But this way, this is convenient because now you can MP2 Enkidu when that comes along, which is my personal recommendation, is to use the tickets to increase the MP level of the servants you already have that you like, as opposed to grabbing a new one. Well, it depends. If it's like if say, oh, I could really use Tamamo, and I still need Waver, then obviously grab those if that's what you need. But if you're just having trouble picking and you're not too fast about it, can't really go wrong with strengthening the servants you've already put effort into. Lots of Buster C going with. It's amusing watching it play out, even though we said going in that it's going to be extremely difficult for one of these accounts to outdo the nonsense that was the rolls from the first account. Oh yeah, and obviously I'll be using spatial ascension that every account gets. Well, within 90 days of the account being created. I'll be using that on Okita. Just more bang for your buck. You get an extra 10 levels. You get the most amount of free levels, so to speak. Well, so to speak, it's literally 3 levels. And since 5 stars use the most mats, it really saves like, how did I not have Kyo in there? I haven't even pulled it from the box yet. That's funny. Damage. Since I'm getting Yuria. She didn't want to drop on my main until I was past Camelot, which was when she shined the brightest. I'll never forget that. I had just cleared Camelot and was about to start on Babylonia when daily friend point roll reset occurred, which is different from login reset for some reason. Not sure why they do that. And sure enough, here she came in that particular 10 roll. 3 copies of her. It was the strangest thing you've ever seen. It was hard. Who is big trolling? Leno likes to troll people by spooking them when they don't want it. And Uriel likes to troll me by showing up after I need it. That's hard to create, I think, yeah. I finally remembered what one of the more random 3-star Cs do. What wonders never cease. I feel like I was talking, I started to talk about Billy earlier, but I cut myself off. So, Billy's funny, he's a good unit, it's just he's overshadowed because of how insanely good Robin is. And David as well, because well, David is tremendous support, he's got a good charisma, has debuff, cleanse, heal, and one-hit of evade, so he can protect all AoE, of course, so you can protect your party from MPs that As long as they don't have sure hit or invuln gears. It's just really nice. So and now he's got the damage too, because he gets an upgraded an MP upgrades this coming anniversary, where he finally does bonus damage against giant enemies, as he should have to begin with, because he's bloody David. Come on now. So he's overshadowed by those two, but he is very interesting because second to last ticket in this case in the Atlas. He is unique in that he has a 50% battery, so that's a theme for a single target archer. And what I was getting to is sort of similar to Caesar, where, well, not quite, because I don't dislike Billy. Okay, there's Nobu. This is what, the second multi on this account? Or was it the first one? I kind of zoned out there yapping about quick 3 stars. But anyway, so yeah, unlike Caesar, I don't dislike his design or anything. But in similar to they're just, or I ended up getting other units that in the same exact single target quick niche for that class. On my quick accounts, being Santal Terra and Hot Wheels. I actually have an MP2 on there somehow. How did that happen? How did that happen? Alright, he was one of the 4 stars rated up when I rolled for Saber Storefront. That makes sense. And that was not... Yeah, that was the best multi. Good start. Atomic Air. I have a soft spot for her. She was my original starter after all. When I started playing, it was a game after the Setsuban event ended. I think there was a Da Vinci, the Da Vinci Lotto was around that time too, and I missed both of them. So I missed the best lotto, or what most people call them, or what a lot of people, let me get my words right, what several people I've seen call the best lotto. I missed that. And I missed the best welfare with the best welfare Z. Both just barely. The struggle is real. Hey. I almost forgot what Okita looked like. Oh, Vlad. That's an interesting spook. Yeah.
召喚により参上いたしました。
So, what are you? You aren't? Are you, bastard? You're a single target. Huh. It's the 5-star Berserker version. That's arts. Okay. Okay, Lucas, oh, yeah, so. Ooh, Europa. That's an interesting one. I feel like she's often forgot about. It's it was one of those awkward things where when she first came out, she hadn't appeared in the story yet, and the banner that she should have been on was in Olympus when she actually shows up in the story, but she came out during Atlantis where she didn't really do anything. So it was a very strange decision. They actually fixed that in Global. They put her on a banner closer to where she actually was relevant in the story, to where people could actually get to know her and maybe want to roll for her. Now, unit-wise, she's actually pretty good, pretty interesting, because she's quite tanky, and she's got quite a bit of damage up for herself. So she's actually can make a fair go at solo and things, even though she's AoE. I feel like she's very underrated. Also, if you ticket her, she is by far the easiest servant on that entire list to make permanent, because it only takes 5,000 bond points to get her to bond 5. Because Grandma loves you. 5,000. Now, Waver is one of the more difficult ones. He takes 50,000, so he takes 10 times the bond points to get to bond 5, as opposed to Europa here. So that's a fun fact. Interesting that we've gotten 2 5-star spoons. I think we're getting a look at how often this kind of thing happens. Maybe rolling this much on 5 with it over. So that's times 2 Nova. So these multis so far are being. If it keeps going this way, we might have a contender. That's a good seed. That's basically Origin Bullet, except against Berserkers. Just wrecks their world. So whereas Origin Bullet is anti-caster, and does the same for Berserker. Certainly making up on those Guard of War CEs. Nice buster. CE. I feel like I got distracted again because Europa popped up. So yeah, we got Tomacat. She was my initial starter servant on my main, so she was the first gold unit I ever got. And you joke. Damn it. What are the odds here for 2 different accounts? The first servant overall I got on my very first roll, the first thing that I rolled period on the start of roll was Ushi. So I really have a soft spot for Ushi and Tomacat. And because I'm so anal about saving up St. Quartz and not rolling for specific banners because I'm paranoid of my terrible luck, they were all I had for a very, very long time. It was those two in MASH against the world, basically. Until Shiki's event, it was the rerun of her event, started, and she was my first level 80. She was the first servant I was able to fully ascend. So then it was those three, basically, all the way through Camelot, where I added Robin and David, and of course Mozart and Shakespeare. Funny thing is, I started to level Hans, but I was walled off something fierce by pages, because for the life of me I could not get pages to drop, so I couldn't do anything with him really. So it was the big sad. It is a lost multi. That's a bit of a sad, unfortunately.
私はシュバリエ・デオン。フランス王家と君とを守る白百合の。
So, Deon's issue is basically that George performs the role just as well, if not better, and has the cost of a 2-star as opposed to a 4-star. Okay, 5 more runs. So this one fell short at the end to being a contender against number 1. But he did give it a good try. So this is definitely a count that I wouldn't want to just abandon completely. I'd want to try to find a home for it. Just have to figure out how to go about doing that. And there we go. That, you know, it's easier just to, maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, this is a Heracles start as well. Lad, Europa. Only one Okita, so yeah. Circus in decent shape. Got your single target, got your ARE, and Okita. Alright, here we go. Time to boot up the last account. Boy, this has been an adventure. Kind of knucklehead that isn't a bloody whale and leviathan or something has a rolling string this darn long. What's wrong with me? I'm curious how this account fares likewise though. Behave, there you go. Still behaving? Yeah, okay. Alright. Let's make sure. Here we go. Last chance for something really weird to happen. Honestly though, if I wasn't so hung up on Nobuoki, um, well, that's certainly a start.
我が名は
We not going out without a fight, it seems. Mercy. If this one somehow ended up in B5 both of them with MLBC something really stupid, I might actually become speechless. But let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. See, where was I on my reminiscing over my main and how I started out. So yeah, we had the Shiki event, and then the next welfare event I'm pretty sure was Saber Lily, and she was my first Saber. So the first Saber Wars event, the rerunner, that was... I don't really remember that event very much. But yeah, she was my first Saber, because we went through Camelot, yeah. And then APOC, the initial run of APOC came along, and I remember leveling Spartacus in the lead up to that event. Leveled his skills as much as I needed to be able to get into MP with Francis Waver and Shakespeare, and used him quite a bit that event, and then I've never used him since. Not a single time. But he was handy that event, let me tell you. Pretty sure he even did the challenge quest. With a lot of help, of course, but pretty sure it was that event. Well, it had to be, because, again, I didn't use him afterwards. Or haven't used him since. But after that, there was, let's see, where did he go? I'm pretty sure Yarma was the next welfare on the docket, but if anyone will recall that was playing around that time, that event was locked behind Solomon completion, and here I was sitting in London for reasons I could get into, but they're so bloody dumb. Not sure if I should even bother. Okay, long story short, I joined a Fate Discord, which I think is like one of the bigger ones, to try and ask questions and learn and such. And somebody there sent me a random DM. And it's like, hey, there's somebody, a mate of mine, that taught me about the game. I'll get them to talk to you and teach you about the game. And this person was very strange. One of the things, so now looking back and thinking of it, I think what's happened was when they were like day one players, and the game was in a lot different state back then, even to the point that I started playing. And it's a lot, and it's quite a bit different now than it was when I started playing. So, and let's not even, it's again hugely different from now to current day JP as well. But I feel like he was stuck in back how it was when he started playing. Back when, so he was basically traumatized by Camelot, or apparently America as well, but especially Camelot, because he was bound and determined that I could not progress past. Okay, where did I had gotten to the point in London where MASH. I got chapter 4, arrow 3. It's right after you spar with Mordred, and MASH ascends and gets her third skill. I got to that point, and I did that on purpose because that's a really good skill to have. Another taunt on MASH. Not only that, but it ascended her, and she went from level 40 to 60, which is quite a lot of stats. But he's like, yeah, don't go any further, you'll just get run over, basically what he kept saying. Things, it's just a nightmare. Like, yeah, it was not good enough to handle it, and wouldn't be for a very, very long time. He said go ahead and forget about Yoma, and forget about Santa Altera rerun at the time, which was Babylonia locked. There's no way I could get through them. And so I sat there in London and didn't progress in the story. You know, I behaved until after that APOC event and such. And here it came, that Gouda Gouda with the armor that was locked behind Solomon. And it's like, I sure do hate to miss that. Now the thing is, that was the initial run of it, and the very next year he came back on the rerun, which was just last year, I think. I don't know. Time's screwy because I have JP and I have Global all mixed around in my head. But anyway, it was coming up, and I was like, sure would like to be able to get it. So at the time there wasn't main interludes at all. So the big thing was I really need to get through Babylonia because I really wanted Santa Altera. And now I had plenty of time to do that because that was in November, and at the time it was, I think, right about now, actually, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, however long it was. I think 3, actually. Maybe. Huh. Anyway. Ticket. As that event approached, I was like, so that one got a rerun, but for all I knew, Santa Altera, this was her last chance. Not only that, but Lost Belts were starting to come out as well. And I was like, oh, those look fun. I'd like to play through those too. And then I finally got Fuma, and I was like, I know Fuma was really good because I finally discovered Grimm's videos. And I was like, wait a minute, some of these units I didn't know anything about. They're really good. Why nobody tell me of this? And one big thing was rare prisms, because at the time I was like, okay, how to get rare prisms? Because there's a lot of good stuff in the shop that would be really useful for an account to have. And so, as I went over before, you may be familiar with, when it comes to welfare units, during the rerun, if you already have MP5 of them, any excess copy you get will give you a rare prism as well as the copy to do what you want with. And I was thinking, you know, that's 5 rare prisms that could really be useful. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and figure out if there's a way that I can play through at least again Babylonia at least. Then I saw people saying, oh, if you get through Babylonia, Solomon's easy because of the bonus damage you get from Bond and all that such, all that nonsense. And then so I was like, okay, and I gave her a go, and any fights I had really trouble with, I found out, oh, Heracles can solo pretty much the entirety of Arc 1 by himself. Now, having blitzed through that way, basically soloing with him, I don't recommend doing that, because you kind of you neglect getting to play your own units and kind of having that adventure with it. But thankfully, these alt accounts have given me the chance to do that. But I did it. I got through Solomon in like a couple days, and in plenty of time to get Ryoma. And another reason I was so apt to get Ryoma, I was like, oh, Ryoma really helped my account, was because of how much people were pumping him up at the time and acting like he was just as good, if not better, than Raida Kentucky. And I had just missed Raida Kentucky, so I was really anxious to get a good single target Raida that besides Ushi. Because I was aware Ushi was good, but for the longest I couldn't even fully ascend her. So she was stuck at level 60 for a very long time for me. Because of bloody horseshoes. And for those not familiar with horseshoes, the best farming node for them at the time was in Camelot. Not only was it in Camelot, but it was in a free quest that you had to complete another free quest to unlock. And said free quest that you had to complete to unlock it was at the very bloody end of the Singularity. So basically I had a lot of reasons that I wanted to get through Camelot. So I went for it, and I did it. I got through Solomon, and reported the good news to the lad, and oh boy, he was not happy with me. Removed me from, apparently removed me from his friends list in the game, and didn't talk to him anymore after that. That's NPC Okita. What's up with that? Yeah, that's my first like 3 months in the game. That's how that went. What a whirlwind. Not even 3 months, it's more like 2.5. Still kind of chuckle at that looking back. It's like, who treats them like that? How dare you go further than I thought you could? and prove me wrong. How dare you? Wait a bloody minute. Did we just get 3 copies of that in one multi? What is this? What is this account? Well, okay now, you're just getting silly. Can we calm down for just a moment? Also, that was 3 coin flips I lost in a row.
じゃねえよ。しました。ライダー、マンドリカルド。まあ、適当によろしくっす。
I was just thinking, oh, it's odd that I've rolled so much today and didn't get spooked by a small foe. Who seems to be the new Suzuka for me, spooking me all the bloody time. Random Mateo. I think we only have 1 copy of, only 1 Noru because this account keeps losing coin flips. We've definitely MLB'd the 5-star CE. CE MP2 Okita. Yeah. This is another... well, we're not done yet, but... There'd have to be some really bonkers rolls, I believe, to really be a contender. However, this one's definitely another account that I want to try to find a new iron for. Beneath the Sunlight? Is that the name of the... I'm still trying to remember the name of the... 3 ticks of evade CE. Two more rolls. Here goes. Nothing. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I was rooting for this account because it is the... This is the... let's see, I was mentioning Siegfried had only popped up in a couple of my rerolls. This is the first time I've ever gotten lids. Ever. When rerolling to start an account. So I was like, I wouldn't mind keeping this one. So it really is a shame that it didn't get the rolls that the account wanted. Okay, Mia, who don't particularly care for, frankly. He's good, don't get me wrong. Carefully. So, who's more for the memes than anything, unfortunately. The rider version, at least. The 4-star. Now, this line here works well with 100 phase. You can put them on the field at the same time, and they actually complement each other very well. But just straight up head to head, she wins. She's better because 100 phase is a monster, and only one lonely summon over because coin flips hate me. This is funny though. I think that's all of them. Okay, so ended up getting 2 5-stars and 4 stars there. So I count 6, 5, And 3, I would like to find homes for if I could. And then 2 and 4, theoretically people might want them, but they didn't get an extra 5 stars, so I wanted. And then account bloody 1 that has MP4 Okita, a copy of Saber Lily, Helena, Panda Lancer, MP2 Naru, Zerka, Suzuka, and I'm pretty sure that's MP2 Carmilla. I believe that's the one that wins. I dare say. Well, I hope you enjoyed this very, very strange rolling stream. Enjoyed me waxing nostalgic, telling a bunch of nonsense. Then when I first started the game, a lot of which I should have talked about as I was playing through the story in my initial streams on that unfortunately lost alt. Alright, well, let's start wrapping up, I suppose. We'll pull up. No, don't do that. I accidentally maximized the window there. Okay, we're going to once again pull up Alt 1. For posterity, for a recap. Said we were. That guy's being stabbed again. There we are. Alright. Bugger all. Stop being finicky, will you? Hate it when it force closes itself on me. Just got it pulled out. You'll be rude like that. I don't like you strongly worded letter at the moment. No one writes letters anymore. It's one of those things where growing up, taking English class, having to write, to learn how to write letters and such. And everybody complaining. It's like, well, what's up with this? I don't want to do this. I don't enjoy this. This isn't fun. And then looking back, it's like, there's something a bit more personal, meaningful about actually writing someone a letter. Send it to them the old-fashioned way. Not that I've ever done that. I don't have anyone to send letters to. Alright, so let's recap this. Also, to be perfectly frank, no one could read my handwriting. So yeah, this account did start with Carmilla, so you know what? Let's go ahead and show off the goods this way. MP. I hadn't even went over to this screen. Can't get over this. MP2 Carmella. This is 2 accounts that have MP Carmella because my aunt's account has her MP2 as well. Because she was the starter 7 on that account. It was her and Steno. No, Steno was and Carmella was the spook, I remember now. I said this earlier. My apologies. I've been yammering on for over 2 hours, so my mind's a bit garbled. Also, I'm still a bit fried out from the tedium of grinding these 6 accounts this far. Okay. Bugger. Where to? I haven't done this one. Where is it? You do like that? Okay, it auto locks every 5-star servant, but it only auto locks the first 4-star one. So, oh well, it's just a button press. MP4. That sounds a bit low. Of course, I only have one headphone on. Would you like to see that? Isn't that pretty? Wish we got at least one more copy of Nobu here, but there will be other opportunities for it. Although, well, obviously tomorrow's daily login, I'm going to get a handful of Saint Courts and a good chunk of tickets. So I will roll again in a couple of days when Okita comes back up to hopefully grab another copy of Nobu. Now, the odds, of course, are very slim, but I'm hoping for either that or another copy of the Craft Essence, the event Craft Essence. Because I only have 4 of these. And I really would like to MLB it. Got plenty of those, mother. Look at that. Look at that. The artwork on these 2 CEs is just spectacular. Like, they're both really pretty. Quite like them. And of course, that's a good CE to slap on your Nagao if you got nothing else. Because, I mean, she's on the picture, so it's kind of designed around her kid. You know, some MP strength, some hearts up, some MP gain, full attack. Now it's a 4-star, so it's not as good as getting a max level and having a big 2000 attack, but 1600 still pretty solid. That being said, I don't recommend going out of your way to level 4-star Cs. You wanna get to the big MLB 5-star Cs to 100. That being said, we have more noble phantasm nonsense, maybe. No, we don't. Where's to we end up with Suzuka? Yeah. That sure is something. Now, here's our spatial moment using the spatial ascension. And we will be using that on there we go, she's about to go up to level 80 and have all 3 of her skills. And it's free, because I don't know if we have enough QP to do that, honestly. If we did it the old fashioned way. We'll watch this for posterity. There she goes.
この羽織は
You get to see each of her ascension stages here.
私も気に入っている
This one's probably the one we'll keep her in because it matches her final ascension art. I mostly do that, try to match the final ascension art with the in-game appearance, but not always.
私がこうして強くなれるのも
I
おかげだありがとう
There are exceptions, like Canis, for example. Her final ascension is in her golden armor, but not a big fan of gold personally. It looks kind of gaudy to me. So I keep it in a classic second ascension. Oh yeah,
無給の
did I stream those? I don't remember if I streamed my quick account. I don't think I did because it was just off a random. Yeah. No, maybe I did. It was just at a very weird time. So yeah, here's a third stage, which is quite lovely. I like the white and the red. It's very striking, but for some reason, final ascension, which you're going to see now, here's a second stage appearance. Or did I miss count ascensions? No, there it is. Yeah, see, that's clearly a second stage appearance.
とても長い時を過ごしましたですのでこの私の霊気に刻まれたこの記憶だけは消えることはないでしょう私はあのひとときすべての時に勝る生を生きることができたありがとう本当にありがとうマスター
So rank up quest is unlocked, so I'll play through that. Don't think there was anything else to do. We'll look at our list one more time. Alright, I'll go through and I'll match the stages. So, you see the red here, and look at the character skin. Yeah, here's a good example. So this is her third ascension, so that's how she looks in game. But see, it doesn't match, and then first ascension doesn't match either. So it's a second. See, I do like a third one though. It's I do have an MP1 on my main account, and I've matched the final ascension with the second ascension. So I might keep this one on there just for, I don't know, just to make this one different. But I feel like this one being MP4 is pretty bloody different already. So yeah, we'll do that for now. I will keep everything else. Yeah. So her skill buff that she's got coming adds an attack up. I think it's an attack up, which just gives her more multiplicative damage up. So she gets a card type bonus, and then an MP strength bonus, and then an attack bonus. So she gets triple multiplicative bonus for MP, as opposed to just 2 types of class. So it's a fairly decent upgrade. Her next one's a better one though, because it literally doubles her survivability. It gives her a second hit of evade, and it also makes her MP strength last 3 turns, as opposed to 1. It's actually a pretty solid buff. So yeah, Now, obviously, I've not played with. Well, I say obviously as if you have any idea what could be on my friends list, but I've never used in Okita uh, this high of MP level or anything like that to be able to tell from personal experience. So I can only go off what I've seen other people say of her MP still not hitting very hard, even with all the buffs. That being said, she is like hybrid buster, mostly buster, but back up quick. So she does get crit stars pretty well, and she does have pretty decent attack stat. So crits hit hard. Just another high level of independent action, so that helps on that as well. So I'm not sure how. Actually, I'm not sure if I've seen people commenting on how strong her MP is after her second buff. Most of the complaints come down to, oh, she's an alter ego, so there's always going to be something better. But I feel like I've never really understood that criticism personally, because there's so many times. And I've played through the stories so many bloody times, I can tell you this, the free quests and such, that there are plenty of nodes that have mixed cavalry classes. That it is chock-a-block full of, it's like, oh, this one, it's assassin and rider. Well, and it's a good mix of both. So it's like, oh, wait, do you bring a caster DPS to kill the assassins and then be weak to the riders, or do you bring a rider DPS to, an assassin DPS to go equal, so neutral with the assassins, and then counter the riders? Like, what do you do? But in this case, you just throw her out there, and she just knocks them over. And it's better than a berserker because she's not taking extra damage in return. So I don't know. I feel like people really undervalue that when it comes to alter egos. Even before Pretender came out as a class and gave them a proper counter class as well, which improved them overall. So yeah, I've never really bought into that particular criticism. I feel like alter egos have some really fun units, like Okita, like Sidonai, who that's one. I was I was going into the wind down mode, and I was going to talk about this then, but then I got distracted yapping here. Look at you, cheeky. I'm actually, so I can live with the graph essence because, frankly, I'm used to that kind of thing. But now, I do wish we could have got another copy or two. So of the spooks we got, I like Panda Lancer, fine, but if I could have won the coin flip and gotten a third copy at Nobu, this account would have been just aces. But this is much better than I expected, even after going through the work of making 6 accounts to do this shenanigans with. So I'm pretty chuffed, honestly, for this. Shooting smoke wave event. That's bad for you, mate. Then again, we're going to overwork you in farming so much, you're going to need all the SIGs you can get, mate. That's alright, I guess. I'm really happy we got Elena, because I really like her. But she never gets raid ups. They've stopped handing out SR tickets, so there's no real opportunity for me to snatch it. Well, she does get one rate up in the future, but it's on an awkward banner, I think. Oh, no, I think it's on a banner with... Who is she with? Now, don't hold me to this, but I think it's on... It's when she gets a... It's doing that waltz in the moonlight of it, where she gets an outfit and a really good bath. That gives it a 50% self battery, which is pretty nonsense. I believe she's on radar. The 5-star on the bench, she's the only 4-star. And then the 3-star that's on radar is Serenity, if you like her. But odds are you probably got her because she's very spooky. So the 5-star is either Shuden, Doji, or Jean. I'm pretty sure though that's the banners where she gets a rate up in the future, and that will be next year, around this time I think next year. So yeah, that's an opportunity for her, but at least on my main, I can't really justify rolling for her there. Arts account is a maybe, and I think I have it marked down in my notes as a maybe. But we'll have to wait and see because the arts account's still fairly in flux. I'm not 100% satisfied with my current plans for it, rolling and such. Honestly, quick account I am quick account. With the slight exception of debating on, because Lakshmi Bai has a banner coming up, but Karma has a last chance banner that isn't a GSSR as well. And my main account's big weakness is Assassin. For some reason, that's just the way it's ended up. But it can't justify rolling for Karma. But my main account's the one I will do GSSR on. So there's opportunities there to grab an assassin or two sometime. But my quick account could use a good single target assassin because, see, the arch account has that covered because of Osako. But quick account, it has Fuma, at least when I get to Embodiment of Remnant and clear Shimosa, where he can finally do all his buffs and become an actual unit. But single target, it's like, there's Legend. Don't even have him here, I don't think so. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah. I don't think I ever got him on this account yet. FP summons are weird, mate. They're weird for me. Okay. It's either Kojiro or Kurzdam for a single target quick assassin for 1 to 3 star. Pretty sure there's no other ones. If there are, then I'm probably forgetting them for a reason, so take that as you will. Honestly, that Woo Spook would be nice on that account, the quick account, because she's sort of a semi-quick support as well, sort of, as well as being DPS. But yeah, at the moment, my arts account, there's something I haven't quite put I haven't quite put my finger on what yet, but there's something about it that bugs me still. However, I did see someone, I forgot where, but I saw somebody post a rumor that Global would be getting an extra banner. Kind of like how a couple weeks back we got a surprise Raiko banner. And this one is like Kualter and Sidonai alternating with Nero as the Radar 4-star. And if that rumor is true, that we'll be getting that in like a week or so, well, that would be mighty tempting. So, yes, serious, because I really like Sidonai, and like she's if you recall, I had her on that Lost alt that I streamed a lot on like a year ago. So it'd be nice to get her back. Also, getting Nero would be very nice because AoE art sabers don't really grow on trees. I say this full well knowing that Jason exists and he's a 1-star and everyone has him, but I'll be completely honest, I'm not going to grail Jason to where he actually can hit like anything but a wet noodle. He's just not a unit that I have any interest in grailing. So, and Nero is really interesting because she has she can do really good damage depending on if Imperial Privilege is behaving or not. I'll tell you who's an extremely good support for her is Lonlene, because he can, because he gives the activation chance. Oh, wait a minute. Let me look something up. Aussie. Yeah, Ozymandias is also a really good made for because I was checking, I had to double check that his buff success rate is AoE, and it is. So that guarantees her Imperial Privilege procs. That's interesting. And I have Aussie on my arts account. That was originally a Buster account. Whoops. So, or yeah, if that basically if that banner is a thing, I will most likely be rolling on. Now, the downside is I was planning on saving absolutely everything to hopefully, like you can't guarantee of course, at least until the pity finally drops in a couple of years. But I was hoping to just increase my chances of getting Castor Otoria as much as I possibly could, because it's an arts account, kind of important to get her, I feel. And being an alt account, unlike my main, which is going to get a great deal of Saint Quartz from the new from the anniversary, the alt accounts are going to get significantly less because specifically this anniversary, the thing that gets added that gives everyone a big gift of Saint Quartz is so as you go through the story, you see how these little arrows. Well, what gets added in this upcoming anniversary is that each arrow adds, so besides these rewards for completing the entire thing, each arrow rewards a certain amount of, that's not what I wanted to go to, this is, of Saint Quartz fragments. And of course my main account is completely done with the story and all the free quests and such to at least as far as has been released, called all the way out. So it's going to get a great deal of fragments to turn into sequels, whereas the these three alts, obviously, well, the art's also in Camelot, amusingly enough. It's like 3 chapters or so, and it's not very far. And of course, the quick account is ready to do Solomon. Well, I could do it at any time, and of course I'll stream it when I do it, because I streamed playing through Camelot and Babylonia on the quick account, pretty sure. But since Solomon gives you bonus for Bond, I was kind of lollygagging around and playing through some events and trying to get some Bond levels up just for kicks and giggles, so we can show some stuff off maybe. So that's what I've been lollygagging around when it comes to Solomon. Don't tell anybody I told you, that's our little secret. You'll save it, isn't she adorable? Sitting there at MP1. Suzuka's buff, because she gets one really soon, and then she gets a second one soon after. I think Anniversary maybe is when she gets a second buff, and they're both really good buffs, so it's nice to get her. Although it's funny that the Buster account gets her at MP1, where my aunt's account has her MP3, and then my main account has her MP4. That being said, I fully expect her to keep spooking me left and right, so it's an issue that'll sort itself out. But yeah, I think that's that is. So there might be some more rolls from my arts account eventually, if we get that mythical bonus banner. Well, I say bonus banner. It's not like JP didn't get a banner that looked like that, or looked like the recent Raiko banner we had. What those are is so JP got them for special JP only conventions and events and such. And then what they typically do is kind of smush them all together and give them during the American Thanksgiving for global. But in this case, they're dropping some randomly, it seems, here during slow periods, which is alright, I suppose. But if I do that, it's really going to hurt me, because my current plan for the art account was save everything for Castoria, hopefully get her, because it's kind of the whole reason I started the bloody account, and then save everything for the Christmas event with Vritra. So Vritra is the new 5-star on that. Well, yeah, the new 5-star on that one. The one where we get Santa Kana as the welfare, and Ruler Martha as the radar 4-star. And I approve of both of those things because I adore Martha, and Vritra really has caught my interest. Now, Martha's limited, but Vritra is actually spooky. She's permanent after that banner. And she's an AoE arts lancer, who, with a kit that on paper seems like a type of unit that I would enjoy playing with, but there's some caveats to that, because again I say on paper, and sometimes things on paper don't quite work out in reality so well. And I've not had a chance to actually play with her before myself because, again, she's not out in global yet. So, and it's been a while since I've tried a JP alt. Now, the thing about this, the funny thing is about this potential banner that's going up, that might be coming up, is, let's say I do roll and then I got Seedonai and Nero, and then maybe I even get Castoria because, please. If I don't roll for Vritra / Martha, now that would be painful, but Estrella has spooked me on that account, and she is spooky. And quite frankly, if we're being honest, they're both really good. Ruta Martha and Estrella are both incredibly strong force units. Not even 4-star units, units period. But Estrella is the better of the two. And she has an upcoming MP buff that just makes it ludicrous. If they bloody get a PSN bomb. It's hilarious. She's an absolute monster. And she's arts, so she is the one that I should be using. So it's just sad because it's my only chance to get Ruta Martha, really, because I don't think she comes back for the foreseeable future. Well, no, because should be a rerun of that Christmas event. It hasn't happened yet in JP. Presumably it will happen this year at some point. Probably around November. Maybe. So I doubt they would magically not have that banner. So there's a chance there. But the thing about it is, if I forwent that, it also clears up next year's rolls a bit, because not spoiler, I guess, but the Fairy Knights of the Round Table in Morgan are coming out next year. And I really like all of those. And so that's Morgan, Barghest, Barvanchi, and Melusine. And of course the regular Knight of the Round Table, Percival, the good lad. Everyone loves Percy. And every last one of them are really good servants. Like they're really good units. Like Morgan's incredible. Contender with Arjuna Altar for AoE bust Berserker shenanigans. She provides he outdamages her, of course. But she has some extra utility that he doesn't. For one, she has a 50% battery, while here his is 30%. So that plays into some stuff. They both have guards. But anyway, Barghest is I actually have played with before quite a bit on a JP alt I had a while ago. Tinkered with a little bit a while ago, and I really like her playstyle is really fun for some reason. And the funny thing is, as it currently stands, I'm planning to roll for her on my main account. But I have so many AoE Buster Sabers on my main, it is actually absurd. I have Artoria, I have Mordred, I have Saber Lily, I have Suzuka, I have Siegfried, I have Gawain, so I have 6. And that's if I'm not forgetting anybody. So you might be able to add Barghest to that. That'd be 7. That's. I'm just collecting them at this point. I'm trying to think of any more that I don't have. Arthur. I don't have Arthur. Don't have Arthur. Ibuki isn't out yet. Ibuki's an interesting one. But I can't really justify rolling for it on any of the accounts so far. But yeah, and then Banshee is fairly similar to regular Tristan, honestly. So they have some useful abilities, and she's really good. Now, objectively, he's slightly better, I would say, but it's very close. And this is after he gets a buff too, so she's very, very respectable. And I actually like her, and I'm fairly neutral on regular Tristan. And then Melusine is a very interesting unit because she's a hybrid arts Buster Lancer. So it's like, oh, well, what's weird about that? You have a Starday, who can switch MP types. Then a Mia gets a buff. I don't know if he has it yet because I don't have a Mia on the account that I actually play. Where he can switch between Buster and Arts. But she can switch, so when she's Arts, she's single target, and when she's Buster, she's AoE. So that's she has a very interesting kit, and I really like her design and all that. And she's a small dragon girl. That's neat. She's got that kind of blue and black color scheme too. That's quite striking. But the thing is, it's like I'm dying to. Okay, so Morgan is on raid up with Barghest and Banshee. Either those two together, or they each get days with a solo raid up with it. All that's covered between the accounts I currently have and my current rolling plans. All that's covered. But the banner that has Percy and Melusine isn't. And the arts account's the only one that has the opportunity to roll for it. That has the opportunity to roll on it. But with my initial plan of rolling for Vritra / Martha, I was like, well, I'm already going to have an AoE Lancer, and then we have Nagao, who's an amazing single target arts Lancer. So, and then even Reese, who's a backup AoE arts Lancer. Of course, they really, DW, at the time it was DW, not Lasagna, really mucked her over with giving her instant death on her MP that procs before the damage, so it really hurts her refund. So I was like, I can't really. That's a lot of Lancers, so I can't really justify rolling for a banner that has 2 more Lancers on it. But if I don't roll for Vritra, then that banner is free real estate, as they say. So yeah. The funny thing is, too, they'd be passing up a dragon girl in Vritra for another dragon girl in Melusine. They both have the sort of blue and black color scheme too. Huh. How about that? And Vritra can spook. So, like, okay, I say that, but do not count on that happening. Like I say that mostly joking, but leaving open it is a possibility. But I do see other people like use it as just as like serious justification. Oh well, it can spook you at any time. it will spook you at any time. It's like, you can't count on that. Don't count on that. The fluke that happened with me and Tamamo is not something that you can count on. So to explain that, my plans, well, let's see. I got waiver on the first GSSR I did, which was third anniversary. I think it's third anniversary. It was the one where. Wait, which anniversary was it? I think it was Da Vinci Lily's drop. I think it was the anniversary where she came out. But now I'm not so sure. But anyway, I got waiver off of the caster class GSSR. So my plan was, because at the time I did that, JP was where we are now. So the 20 million download campaign was happening, which was their equivalent to the 17 million download campaign that we have active at the moment. So the first of the SSR ticket was a thing. So I was planning, I was like, okay, I'll use that ticket on Tamamo. Well, I was torn. I was like, man, I need to use it on Tamamo, because she's a support, she can help a lot of my units. But I also really want to use it on Mordred. And luckily, I've told this before, but I'll go ahead and repeat it again, just kicks and giggles. On the Lost Belt 4 release, where Garjuna came out and Asclepius came out, I was like, I'm going to throw a 10 roll. It wasn't a multi, it was 10 tickets. I'm going to do these and see if I can spook up a copy of Asclepius. And then roll number 2, here came Garjuna. I was like, you gotta be joking me. And then the final roll, roll number 11, the bonus roll. Here came Tamamo spook. So that was no Asclepius, but we take those, I guess. And that freed up the ticket for Mordred, as I used it to MP2 it back to. There we go. Isn't that pretty? MP2. And yeah, she will be 2K fired eventually. I just let's see. Rescue was my first 2K fire, and then Australia. Well, I actually started working on Surfer Mordred a wee bit, just a smidge, and then I got to Australia, and I'm like, and I was like, like I really like both of them. Mordred's my absolute favorite, but I decided to go with the more objective. It's like this Australia is more versatile in the way you can use it. Like she can solo bloody near anything. So juicing her up is what I decided to do next, and then I will like flip a coin between whether I'm going to fire Saber Druid or Surf Druid next. But either way, both of them will be foes. So that's my plans on that. Also, the next year's anniversary, so 5th anniversary. The SS, the ticket we get from that, I'll use to get MP3 modules. she's definitely one I'm. If there was any unit that I wanted to in B5, it'd be her. So I'll work on doing that. Try to. She gets a rate up next year before. It's where a lot of the Roundtable Knights get animation updates and buffs. Doing a, I think it's a Holy Grail War event. Yeah, next year. Is it next year? Yeah, next year. So she gets a rate up then, a solid rate up. So I might. It's rough because, frankly, next year is a bloody nightmare. So, among other reasons, one of the reasons I started this all was because there's so many. It's like, okay, I'd like to roll on this, but I'd like to roll on that. And it's like, there's a bloody nightmare picking between them. So I was like, why don't I just make a bloody alt account? And I can pick up banners that I chose to not go for my main on them. So that's the whole reason I started an art account and a Gwig account, and now this Buster account. Of course, this Buster account was a complete whim. I was like, hey, let's. I call it a Buster account, but it's really an Okinobu account, hopefully. So yeah, even with all that in consideration, it's still a bloody nightmare pick. There's still sort of there's still too many banners that my main account kind of wants to roll on for me to more for comfort, more than I'm comfortable with. I'm not sure what to do about it. Now, luckily, some of it comes down to GSSR. If certain units happen to come along in GSSR, then obviously I won't have to roll for them. Namely, like Nero Bride. Like, I'd like to get her because she's, at the moment, like the last big support unit that I don't have on my main. And she's just very useful in general. Funny thing is, my arts account should really think about going after her, and I do think I have her banner on the list as an option, but as it's going so far it's a pass. And then for some reason I'm a bit obsessed with getting a second copy of Echan, of Mysterious Heroine X Alter. But that's definitely, I can move that over down priority wise. For some reason I kind of have an itch to do so though. Alright, I think I've rambled on far long enough. So I am going to finally wrap up this bloody stream and actually get to work on this event. Sorting out this mess that all this rolling has done to my boxes. Oh dear, oh dear. Should better make some nice CE bombs to get us started with though. That's nice. So right, I'll if anyone happens to watch this VOD, takes a liking to any of the other 5 accounts, do let me know. I'll make a transfer code for you. But I really do need to figure out something to do with them, because like especially 3, 5 and 6, like those had too good of rolls to just throw away completely. But honestly, even making this one extra alt So 3 alts to go with my main. Is a bit sketchy playing wise. So I definitely couldn't or won't justify another one. That's a bit silly. Also, I've run out of card colours. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're only 3. But okay, that'll be all for this time. Rest me throat. And my tongue, which is still smart enough to I bit it earlier. So I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Not sure exactly when that will be. Perhaps surprisingly soon. If we end up getting that surprise banner next week. Whenever. But alright, that'll be all for now. So long and take care.